Orange Podcast, Bat. I'm opening up the chat rooms right now. We're here for our Friday edition. We usually like to have a little fun, but we got some serious clips to talk about too. Hanging out. Hey, Paul, how are you doing? All good in
Up
the
in the
hood?
world, Mom. Glad to be here. It's a great Friday afternoon. This is the best way to close out a week with our podcast.
Could you imagine not closing out with Orange Podcast, Bad?
No,
I'm
not
opening up.
anymore.
I'm opening up the live chat over there on X. All live chats are open. Drop us a comment. Tell us what you. We don't care. Whatever. Listen, if you say something completely retarded, I don't have to even remove you. The system will just do it for you. But if you want to be on, just say, "Hey, no, you got a bad take." Tell us. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are if we have a bad take on something.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, it's Friday, but I've got about 5 clips. I want to get started. So, let me get started with the school teacher. And I'll just lay this setting out. It's a fairly long clip, but the setting, it's the same setting you would think of everywhere, where a Marxist school teacher is trying to teach a history lesson and has to equate Donald Trump. This is a history lesson about World War II. Has to equate Donald Trump to that. And so the kid, let's just play the clip.
A Cholla High School student has turned to News 4 Tucson investigators after they say one of their teachers compared President Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler during a history lesson. Parts of the controversial lecture were recorded. News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter, Cora Nylander, looks for answers in tonight's News 4 Tucson investigation.
Well, it all allegedly happened during a discussion about World War II. A student here at Cholla High School left class feeling very upset because they say their teacher started to make parallels between President Donald Trump and Adolf Hitler, and then brought his entire generation into the conversation.
Also, your generation with the lowest information level is the biggest supporter of Donald Trump. He has that in common with Hitler, too.
That's a secret recording a Cholla High School student captured earlier this month in the middle of a lesson on World War II. The student says he started recording because he felt the teacher's comments were inappropriate.
She's trying to put her beliefs onto us.
He catered to the youth, and the youth catered to him. We'll talk about that a little bit more.
I don't appreciate her telling me like that me and my generation are Nazis for voting, or for being the biggest Trump supporters. I don't appreciate that.
He says it's not the first time this teacher has blended her personal opinions into lessons. The discussion also angered the student's father.
It's bullying because, in a sense, she's calling our kids Nazis for their beliefs, and it's not something that our kids need to be hearing.
The father says he did not bring his concerns to the principal or the district because he believes the issue will be ignored. He felt the News 4 Tucson investigators would have a better chance getting answers.
If I tell one person, the superintendent, the principal, whatever, I honestly think it's going to fall on dead ears.
The News 4 Tucson investigators reached out directly to the teacher last week to get her side of the story, but did not hear back. Cholla High School is part of the Tucson Unified School District. We sent TUSD the video.
He has that in common with Hitler, too.
It sent us a statement saying, quote, Tucson Unified is aware of the allegation and it's under investigation. Due to personnel privacy matters, we are not able to disclose any other information. The News 4 Tucson investigators combed through TUSD's policies and procedures. According to its administrative guidelines, a teacher is allowed to discuss political topics only if it's appropriate for classroom studies. It says the teacher can't support or oppose any political position, and the pupils are not given written materials that support or oppose any political position. In this case, the father and son want to see the teacher disciplined.
I believe there should be higher punishment for this.
I think a lot more people need to see and do stand up for this stuff and not allow it. You know, this is our kids' education we're betting on here, and we just got to do better.
And we're going to stay on top of this and update you as we learn more about the district's investigation. Reporting outside Cholla High School on the west side, Cora Nylander, News 4 Tucson.
And if you have a story you'd like the News 4 Tucson investigators to investigate,
And let me get your thoughts first, because I clearly have many. I still have one in public school system, and I watched two others. One's already married off. One's doing well. They're both doing well. Sorry, but I've still got one in public school systems. What are your like? I don't know that your kids saw this when
Yeah,
they were going to
this is
school.
no, my kids didn't. Not yeah. First of all, they were in the Texas public school system, which is different than most of the rest of the country's public school system. They have, like our generation, Sean, they had that kind of history lesson and stuff. There was none of that kind of crap going
I
on.
would I would say, with everybody that has moved to my state, North Carolina, and your state over the last 20 years, to flee because they hate how high their taxes are and how awful they are. There's probably a bunch of Marxist teachers in both North Carolina and Texas state schools, and I would bet if you had a grandkid going to school today, they would
Oh,
hear shit like this.
oh, definitely. Yeah. So, my youngest is 31, my oldest is 35, and they went to, so you got to understand in the metroplex, um, the schools are centered around, if I could just say, they're centered around football,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And and they do whatever they can do to get their football players up to speed and that kind of thing. So yeah, there might be some of this uh, bleeding heart liberal bedwetting communist kind of stuff going on, but at LD Bell, where my boys went, we really just didn't see that kind of stuff. We were um, concerned about the stadiums and ticketing and pricing, all this stuff that had
Oh
nothing to
yeah.
do with education. When we had our school board meetings and stuff like that, they're like, "Hey, there's no parking for the 75,000 people that are going to come to Friday night football. We need parking." That kind of stuff. It wasn't about this kind of stuff.
Well, I guess so. The broader question from this is going to be, and a lot of conservative parents are just frustrated. They're like, why? And then you won't give me, depending on the state, you won't give me a voucher to do something like a private school or a church school or something like that. Why?
Right.
Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
Why are you forcing my children to hear your indoctrination? And you can say, well, is it really indoctrination? And I'm going to say, listen, parents should have a choice, right? They should have school choice. And if this is the type of teacher, right, that's under investigation and now it's an HR issue, you're never going to hear anything else about this. I'm glad the
No.
student. Glad the
Yep.
student was a whistleblower, but that student's going to be bullied by the
Yep.
entire administrative personnel of the school district until they hopefully graduate and move on to whatever they go, trade school, college, doesn't
Yeah.
matter, army.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Uh, like this is where we're at though, and that's where I just wanted to take a pause and go, wow, I can't imagine How awful. If this one was just making correlation references to World War II Germany, could you imagine how bad the ones with the purple hair are and hairy
Oh yeah,
legs?
and the gauges in their ears and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. Yeah, oh, absolutely, you do. You know, so out here in East Texas, not only is it about football, it's about FFA. So
Oh, yeah.
I, I would say 70% of the male students in high school belong to the FFA.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
oh yeah, and they're all about that kind of stuff. And the school rewards them, for their participation. The great thing is, on you and I talking, the great thing is FFA is like football. You've got to have a 2.8
Mm-hmm.
to even participate in FFA. If you don't have a 2.8 or better, you're just not going to do it. And it uh it doesn't matter about skin color or gender. It's they've got it laid out like that. So I mean, the last three FFA champions that we had in our school district, one was female and two were black.
Sure.
I- you know, and the whole school turned out, and it was like, yeah, you know what I mean? There is no, it's just
No,
the
I
way it
agree.
is.
I guess there's a lot of that goes on too, but and I'm glad to hear that it's not happening there. I'm very well a future farmers of America. I just with this whole move to label Trump as a snazzy. Or, I'm trying
No,
to. We're on 9 platforms right now. I don't
yeah,
know what the rules are.
yeah.
And do that, and I just go. Do you've never learned anything in your life if that's what you think this is?
Right.
The word I know I can say is fascism. Trump is not that. Uh, how do I know? You can prove me wrong, because we've got district court judges that block his every move. If he was a fascist, wouldn't they all be in gulags?
100%, dude. Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
It's next clip. Fun Friday. Listen, jump into the chat. If you know us, just send one of us a text or DM. I'll send you a link to join us. But I gotta get to Friday. It's Friday. Let's have a little fun with Joe Biden. I don't understand why Jill keeps pushing him out there. You guys are gonna say money. I get it. I get it, but he's
I,
already gotten all the money from Ukraine. He's already gotten all the money from other places. And there's strong evidence that it was peddled through Hunter. I I want to focus on this. Why is Jill forcing him to continue going out there when he talks about Hunter being Bo's son?
This day is the 10th anniversary of the loss of my son Bo, who spent a year in Iraq. And to be honest, it's a hard day. His son and I, Hunter, who's here in the crowd, I don't know where you're sitting, Hunter, but all the way in the back there. His daddy came to this event with me about the same age when he started. He just graduated from high school, heading off to college.
what?
This is the Joe Biden that has been around for the last 4 years.
I,
And
I, I don't even know what I just watched.
I can play it again. He said his son, Hunter is in the crowd with us. His daddy used to come with me when he was his age to speeches like this. The dude
Wow.
smoked, and I'm not making fun of the dude's health
No,
issues.
no, no.
I
I
am
got
not
you.
at
Yeah.
all. I'm just making the observation that the dude is smoked. And I'm really upset with his family for continuing to force him out there. Like, what did they do with all the other money that they've earned over their lifetime? However they got it. Why?
So I gotta say, Sean, I disagree with you because I think it's him. I think his handlers are going, dude, go to the house, play chess, sit on the back porch. And he's like, no, I got to rescue my reputation. And, and to that point, they're letting him do it. And it just doesn't work out like he thinks it's gonna. I
So I think that's a
mean,
fair.
so you think your position is Jill and others are pushing him out there to try to maintain the family, you know,
Lifestyle.
lifestyle and that.
Yes. And I honestly believe that, and I believe the reason that the cabinet, right, was never allowed to bring up 25th Amendment was for the same reason. I believe Jill. I believe Jill. Now remember, I've already correlated her to years ago. We talked about this when we were just running on Twitter platform. It reminds me very much of Edith Galt Wilson, whose husband, Woodrow Wilson, had a stroke and then spent the last year of his presidency in bed because Edith wasn't going to give up 1600s Pennsylvania until she had to. And I'm putting a lot of this on Jill. I really
Okay.
am.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
I got you. Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
You get accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Jill was the
Yep.
babysitter 45 years ago. She got used to Joe as a politician and then a young senator and all the perks that come along with
Oh
government
yeah.
life. I, I just, I think I think she's cooked, not in the same way Joe is. I think she's just cooked. I'm not giving this up. Screw you. Everyone else got a chance. I'm getting my chance. I earned it because I had to put up with Joe's ass.
Yeah. No, I could see that. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be out there. I think people will debate about it for quite some time, and I do get that people are just like, well, let's move on, and I say, here's the problem. When I'm watching the internet, people aren't going to go on. They want to see who
Right.
was autopen,
Yeah.
and that would be a crime, right? You are not the president, and you're signing executive orders. You're signing documents. So there's a large amount of people who are not going to get over this. And a bunch of them could be bots, and that's totally understandable. Bots are awful. I wish we could figure out how to remove bots from the internet. But it's just a conversation that's going to keep happening until something happens from the AG's office. They might be working on something awesome. They might have a gotcha moment with a auto pin
Yeah.
button
Oh yeah.
presser. I'm not mad at the AG's office in the way that a lot of people are. I'm just observing what they're saying, and they are pissed that nothing's been done about Biden not knowing, the 25th should have been used. That's a constitutional issue with the 25th Amendment that puts it all in the cabinet. And I believe we probably should look to do another constitutional amendment to include Congress in that discussion or
Yeah.
decision, because Johnson would have known, Speaker Johnson, but he can't invoke it. Only the cabinet can invoke, the executive branch can
Right.
invoke the 25th Amendment. So, and people are pissed. They don't know all the stuff. We don't know all the stuff. But I get that they're pissed, and so I I don't think it's gonna pass. I think you're gonna see more of it, hear more of it. Does anyone go to jail?
Well, so I gotta say, Sean, I think there's also a lot of people that think like me, and I don't give a shit.
I agree.
It's bridge under the water. It's water under the
I've
bridge.
seen those.
You know what I
Biden did
mean?
one. Biden
It's
did one of those
gone.
on the
We're
Gaza
moving
Strip.
ahead with America. Are we going to do hundreds of millions of dollars to finger point and all that over some really insignificant, associate to the? But I don't care. I don't care, dude. The guy was fucked up. We've acknowledged he's fucked up. He fucked up the country. We acknowledged he fucked up the country. So let's concentrate on making the country better. I don't give a shit about this retroactive finger pointing about, who did this. And here's my favorite one. We need to know what he knew and when he knew it. Yeah, fuck you, dude. I don't care when he knew and when,
I
Shooter and Pelosi, and they're going to fall on their sword. We don't have to have all of these. I don't want Cash Patel and Dan Bongino do it. You know what I want Bongino to do? I want Bongino to find out who the fuck put the knapsack outside the DNC and outside the RNC, on January 6th. That's the kind of shit I want to know. I don't care that Biden was asleep at the wheel and there was auto pin and Jill was making decisions or Bob was making decisions. I don't care about that shit.
right, because it could have been Bob.
Yeah, I just don't.
Listen, I have looked at. I'm just making observations. I've looked at both arguments. Your argument is a valid argument that a lot of people make. It does come a lot of times from the non-MAGA.
Right.
Okay, fine. I think what the MAGA are trying to get at is that there was actual crimes committed because you cannot act as president. And so we've seen this twice. Woodrow Wilson, Joseph Robinette Biden, and they want some sort of corrective action to happen. I don't know. Well, they're going to say, well, jail, but let's. I think what the actual corrective action needs to be is an amendment to the 25th Amendment to fix the 25th Amendment to allow Congress to also step in and say we have a president who is no longer capable of functioning as the commander in chief. And I think that might be a compromise, at least between you and me, that would make sense, right? So Speaker Johnson knew for probably 2 years, but he couldn't do anything because there's nothing Congress could do with the 25th
Right.
Amendment. It starts with the cabinet, right? And now criminal prosecutions. All right, so the MAGA people, again, I am pro-Trump, but I'm a constitutional conservative. So I'm not probably MAGA, but I'm gonna vote. I voted for Trump 3 times, so that we're clear. I
Yeah,
want to
no,
follow
I
I
got
want
what
to
you're
follow the
saying. Yeah,
Constitution, and on that, I acknowledge that there's nothing Speaker Johnson or Congress could have done to invoke the 25th Amendment for
right.
Woodrow Wilson or for uh, Joseph Robinette Biden. And I also acknowledge that they have no power because I see the Democrats out loud and proud screaming, "We are totally going to 25th or impeach uh, Donald Trump." And I just go, "That's cute. We couldn't do it to your 2 guys.
Right.
You don't have the power. But if you want to change it, we could hang out. If you want to change that,
Yeah.
we could totally hang out." So, yeah, I mean, there's something there, and I think people on both sides, like if they actually just looked at the issue, I think people on both sides would go, "Yeah, we need more than just the cabinet," which would have been what, uh, Pete Buttigieg, Alejandro Mayorkas, like just start going through Joe's cabinet.
Oh
Were
my
they ever
God.
gonna?
Right. Yeah.
Were they ever gonna say anything? Because they would have lost their jobs
Yeah.
through. That's why I'm saying put the power back, at least partially, with Congress, and so that if people have this come up, this wouldn't be an impeachment. This would be a literally,
Oh
you were
no. Yeah.
physically unwell, you
Right.
cannot do the job,
Right.
right? All right, let's get back to fun stuff. All right, so I'm gonna start with JD Vance. A quick clip of him talking about Elon, and then we'll move into Elon's. They didn't have cake. I don't know why they didn't have cake. A little party in the Oval Office.
Huh.
I think what he's done is really incredible. People sort of forget that when he came into the U.S. government, we had never had a full-scale effort to actually look at, are we spending the American people's dollars wisely? And he found in a very short period of time over $170 billion of waste, fraud, and abuse. I think there's also an effort by the media to sort of say the Elon era is over. And I think that's actually totally wrong. Now, he has obviously a day job, and he's got to go back to his day job to run his companies. But the Doge effort will continue. Elon will continue to be an important advisor for both me and the president. And most importantly, the job of making the government more efficient, of not wasting people's money, that has to continue. I think it's one of the most important mandates that we got from the American people. We're going to keep on executing on that mandate.
I'm gonna go with yeah, he's correct.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna go with
I'm gonna go with that too.
I'm gonna go with noticing that people on the left are celebrating. We did it. We protested so hard by burning down Tesla dealerships and firebombing Tesla cars that we ran them out of town, and nobody, like, so whatever they watch, I'm guessing TikTok and
Yep.
CBS or and CNBC,
MSNBC.
and yeah, just the lamestream media, it all told them that they gave them confirmation bias. You guys ran Elon out of town. You won. Keep it up. Keep up the violence. Keep up the firebombing. So yeah, okay. Elon's not leaving. He just told you there. Elon's not leaving. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. With what they do on Monday when they find out Elon's
Yeah.
not leaving. Yeah, now is he gonna go sleep on the factory floor of a Tesla plant? Yep. Is he gonna sleep on the factory floor of Starbase? Yep. But
Yep.
if you know
Is he
anything
gonna go
about
try to
Elon,
fix SpaceX for the night time? Yep.
again, he will, and he's gonna make that thing fly.
Yeah.
And I bet he has felt a bit of a remorse that he wasn't able to do it. But I also bet he felt like it was necessary for him to introduce Doge, which is what JD just talked about, to the government because it's never been there.
Right. Yeah.
Government efficiency. So I don't know how, other than clicks, all these leftists, including Congress people who do, by the way, if you didn't know this, your Congress people also try to monetize their social media accounts. They
Yep.
absolutely do, and they're looking for clicks. They put it there. We've totally got some in the Republican Party that do that. Mike Lee,
Well,
I'm sorry. What?
no, you're exactly right, dude. I'm telling you, it it just boggles the mind.
So, yeah. I don't, well, so what's the victory in saying we won, we kicked Elon out? What is there? Are they just looking for more violence?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Sean, it's really simple. They don't, you know, they've got their arms locked around the rice bowl. They've got their pet projects that they're trying to defend. So no matter what, Elon is evil, you know, and so as he leaves, which nobody is saying, this is what I find unique, is nobody's saying his time is up due on his contract. He's leaving because his contract is ending, not because he's folding and going, well, I can't fight these guys. I got to get out of here. That's not it. He
Right.
signed up for,
130 days.
420 days or, 310 days, whatever it was. And this is the end of his contract. But the great thing is the rest of the Doge team, all the other CEOs and stuff, are still on board and they're still looking, and doing their part. So again, the Democrats are disingenuous and just shouting lies because they're too stupid to do anything else.
Well,
What bothers me is I think at the end of the day, the Republicans or the conservatives could come up with 2 or 3 viable centrist candidates for president. I don't think the current state of the Democrats that they could field any centrist Democrat. And I got to tell you, in 93, I voted for Clinton. And I say that proudly. I'm a registered Republican, but I voted for Clinton. He balanced the budget. You know what I mean? He did
twice.
a bunch of stuff that I really liked, and I was glad that I voted for him. But just, dude, you have to cut my wrist to make me vote for AOC or, Ratchet
Jasmine Crockett
from Dallas.
I don't think it'll be Jasmine Crockett. If I had to make a guess on that real quickly, I'm gonna go probably AOC. Jasmine Crockett's probably gonna be in the primary, but AOC is probably gonna top that primary. And here's why: it's because she has this massive social media presence, and it's going to be able to sway voters. And I think she's going to be a big play even in primaries,
Yeah.
in states that don't matter to her. All she's
Right.
gonna have to do is get on the TikTok app and do
Yeah.
her thing, do her makeup, and well, what? And I will tell you because I've 3 kids and they watch social media, and I've experienced this for 15 years. Like they watch this stuff, they get vacuumed in the same way that we used to get vacuumed into Ted Koppel,
Yeah.
NBC, right?
Ted
Ted Koppel, NBC. So it's like she's going to be a force that is just going to have to be recognized because high school voters that will be turning voting age, young college voters, they all know her.
What do you think about Stephen A?
Sports guy? That who you talking about?
Yeah.
All right. My thoughts on him are is he's trying to. I think he's mega curious, and by that I mean he wants to understand what the MAGA want because he understands it's not what the Republicans want, and he wants to know what we want, what I want,
Right.
right? Like, what do you guys actually want?
Yeah.
Because we get a bunch of propaganda from your orange man, and I'm gonna tell you, listen, if you're new to the Orange Party, you need to understand. Stop listening to what Trump says. Listen or watch what the deal is that gets made because he's just going to say a bunch of stuff, a bunch, but it's about the deal. It's about the deal.
Okay.
You can't listen to what he says. You can't say, I'm going to tariff China 447% because 47. Watch what the deal that happens. It could be a bad deal. You can be mad at the bad deal. Watch what the deal that has been had. You've already had a chance, and if you're too young to have remembered it, you had a chance to look at history and video. There's video of all of it on
Oh yeah,
social
it's
media.
everywhere. Yeah.
He's already had a chance at president. It's never about what he says. So when he calls Rosie O'Donnell a fat pig, you go, oh, that's disgusting. I can't believe a president would say that. What deal did he make that day? What did he do for the American people? In this, nobody's ever seen a president like this. Nobody. And so, does he get a pass for me? No. I've talked with Paul about several things. I don't think this executive order on drug pricing is going to be effective. I don't think it's going to reduce costs. And you'll have to go back to, I think, episode 21, and I explained the whole thing out. And the title's in there. It's in the title. But go back to I walk through it for about 20 minutes and explain how the drug price industry works, the drug industry works, the pharmaceutical industry works. And it's worth a watch. I'm not going to do it again right here. We're
Right.
having a good time on the Friday show.
Yeah.
So, again, it's all about the deal. What deal does he make? What deal does he make with China? What deal does he make with Syria? What deal does he make with Iran? And I'm sick of news rags like coming out and saying, well, Trump's going to let Israel bomb Iran. Hold on. What?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. He already told you he's not. And he told Netanyahu, he's already said this. He said it. Not going to happen. I already told him no. And you get news racks coming and go, well, Netanyahu's not going to listen to Trump. Where does the world funding come from?
That doesn't equate. Netanyahu and Trump have a close relationship. And I got to tell you, I'm sure they talk 2 or 3 times a week. I come on, dude. Come on. And why are you so blatantly disingenuous? And you stand there, with your head cocked to the side and go, well, and it's not even remotely true. And then, you get Witkoff and Bennett and Rubio, and everybody's, punching back saying, you're, not to put too fine a point on it, but you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. And we would, as an administration, appreciate it if you would quit talking that shit. And what I wish would happen is we're not inviting you on Air Force One anymore. You're not going to travel with us anymore. You're not because all you do is fucking stir the fucking hornet's nest when you don't know what you're talking about. But you can't do that because then it's, we're the socialist. We're the communist. We're controlling the media. And, well, we're not controlling the media. We're controlling Bill Davis, who's a fucking liar who works for, Sky News. We're not impeding the media. We're impeding that guy because he's a lying piece of shit. And if you keep it up, I'm going to send Pete Hegseth to your house and he's going to beat the fuck out of you in front of your family. Or maybe he'll beat your family to death in front of you. It just so
Well, doesn't that get to a bigger
it just wasn't that way before, Sean. You know what I
Doesn't
mean?
that get into the issue of not only the Patriot Act, but I can't remember the Obama era where they rescinded. I can't remember the name of the act. They rescinded the act that said that if you want to be a news agency, you had to actually broadcast.
Oh, I lost you, brother. Stand by, everyone. We've had a little bit of a glitch. So anyway, to add what Sean was saying, um, as far as Israel and Gaza goes, Trump has worked tirelessly to try to put some sort of agreement together as a ceasefire and send, which he has already sent humanitarian aid to Gaza, to the Palestinians. And what people don't understand or refuse to acknowledge is Hamas takes control of those deliveries and supports itself and then whatever is left over, they maybe they hand it out, or maybe they just leave it on the street, for the regular Palestinian people to get. But make no mistake about it, Hamas is running that, and they still are using schools and hospitals and other sensitive areas to hide behind.
Special that I give to very special people. I have given it to some, but it goes to very special people, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. This is a lot. The luck of this is amazing.
A large lot.
Well, that was cool. Let me adjust here and see if I can get Sean to come back up. Stand by. Here we go. I think we're getting him back now.
Oh,
Oh, there he is.
So I was watching over on the Twitter feed, and we were still live. Over there. Weird.
I did what I could.
Oh, good. Yeah, so we still did. Well, it was weird because even the video I was playing. But hold on. So let's do it again since I got you back. We still got about 12 minutes. Let me do the golden key.
Special that I give to very special people. I have given it to some, but it goes to very special people, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. This is a lot. The luck of this is amazing.
A large lot.
Kind of cool. I mean,
Oh, that was very cool.
a lot of Trump people were calling for him to get the Freedom of Honor medal, which is what Rush Limbaugh got. And I say, I'm okay with him not getting that right now. Maybe later. Maybe later. Because he's still going to be part of Doge, just not officially.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
he's still, so maybe later.
Yeah.
I think the contribution Rush gave to the world and the Conservative Party still far bigger than Elon. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
let's
Yeah,
be
no
honest.
question.
Elon was clearly a Democrat voter his whole life up until he said, "Holy crap! They're literally going to destroy this country." Oh wait, and my businesses. So, and he
Yeah.
had like
And my
yeah,
businesses. Yeah.
and I don't know how many employees he has across all 5 or 6 of them, but that's a lot of employees he was concerned about. So I don't get him for, I don't blame him for that, but I think it's, I also think it's weird that I could still see streaming on my end, and you couldn't see streaming on your end, but then you were streaming, and I couldn't see it. And so I can't remember his name, but I'm gonna have to call him out. Rumble, what's up with that? I mean, if everyone yells at X when you can't tweet,
Yeah.
Rumble. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, literally, what was that?
I have no idea because you were going on one stream, I was going on another stream, but the whole thing is hosted by at Rumble. Like we're both podcasting from Rumble, and wow. Hey, let me get your opinion on this. It's a long clip, but I'll set it up. As we close this out, we're gonna move over to sports ball. So the Pacers, the Knicks, they're in the finals, right? So it comes back to Indiana.
Okay.
Pat McAfee, right? Big time podcaster,
Right.
ESPN show, huge. Former punter, very good, unbelievable kicker for the Indianapolis Colts for years and years. Very beloved in Indiana. And then John Mellencamp, an Indiana native. John Mellencamp gets in a beef with Pat McAfee because at a sports ball event,
What?
Pat McAfee comes on the floor, was given the microphone as the rally guy. Oh no, so and so's here, so and so's here, so and so's here, and the crowd all boos these people. Spike
No way.
Lee, John Mellencamp, boos them because they're Indianapolis people and they're booing Spike Lee's politics. They're booing John Mellencamp's politics. And Pat McAfee's probably in between our age, or maybe closer to mine, but he's got a really good read as a sports analyst on also politics.
On people and teams and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's also got a good read on just general politics, and so he's an agitator. He says stuff. This is what he does on his ESPN show or on his podcast, and so John Mellencamp. Let me play the clip.
Now, when the Knicks are playing in Gainbridge, I believe there is going to be some boos. There might be some negative things said towards the other team.
I hope not.
There might be.
It better not be.
That is kind of how sports work, I think.
Not if we're there.
Well, now, going forward, we are going to be an agent of only good things at sports stuff happening. Only positive cheers going forward, because that will make John Cougar Mellencamp happy. What a moment for John Coug yesterday.
Oh, you mean Hoosier hospitality?
What's that?
You mean Hoosier hospitality?
That's right. In quotes like this.
Mr.
Coug Mellencamp. I don't know what he thought he was doing with that particular quote tweet. I respect and appreciate the fact that he said, you know what? I've made a pretty good living over the last few years grandstanding higher than anybody else on everything.
Yeah.
This feels like a good time to do that right now. And he puts out this horrendous quote tweet. I mean, this
Tough to
horrendous graphic. John, can't tell you how bad everything you did here was. Everything. The graphic, the quote, the timing. You're 2 days late, John. You're 2 days late, bub. Puts this thing out there. Doesn't even say my name.
No.
John, shut the fuck up. Okay? So they put this out, calls me somebody. Okay? Yep. I am somebody. And I normally don't want people to just get slaughtered, you know,
Sure.
because I know we have a very active following, and I appreciate the hell out of those people. They are very kind. The people that have followed our story are the greatest people on earth, because there's a lot of times they could have just said, no, we're not doing this anymore, and they've stuck with us. They are active, though, and they like us, John. I know you probably talk to people that say they don't like me, you know, and you probably read from journal. We know who you hang and who you listen to, John. So you probably read a lot of people that don't like me. I don't think you or your team had any idea that there might be people that are on my side, John. So I hope whenever you opened your X account, if it is you seen what everybody did, and you could have taken the angle and be like, hey, there's some people attacking Pat for what he did. I'm actually on Pat's side because we represent this state of Indiana. We're lucky and thankful to represent this state of Indiana. We don't have a lot of people pulling for us in the state of Indiana, but you know what? I see another young buck that's doing it, and I appreciate him doing it. You could have easily done that, John. But instead, you're trying to think you were going to bury me? I don't think so, John. Hey, Coog, suck it, buddy. And hope I get a chance to see you real soon. I think we're probably going to be at the same place pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want any of your bullshit, okay? I don't like you. I know your name, and I don't like you.
So I have no idea, if the game is going on tonight, but I believe it might be. John Cougar Mellencamp was just upset that he got booed. And he posted this, like, the graphics was awful, right? It's a picture of him, the chick he's with, and then he's got lines over the top of it as text. He got his feelings hurt that he got booed. He got booed because people don't like his leftist policies, and they were attending a playoff game at Cambridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. So deal with it. You're gonna get booed if you are some sort of listen. We are minor, and I get all kinds of hate in the DMs, in the chats. Whatever, bring it. I don't care. I really don't care. If John Cougar Mellencamp, Paul can't handle that, I don't know what to tell him. I mean, like, I've got another issue with him, is that he should probably retire because he sounds awful. He used to sound incredible. He sounds awful. Any thoughts, Paul?
Man, I gotta tell you, you're 100% right. It's unlawful. You just, I mean, come on now. Come on now.
You're the Indiana guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Right?
With the Indiana girl on a... Everyone knows the song. Come on. Yeah, and you're mad that people are booing you? Get over yourself.
Get over yourself. You've done something that obviously blew up in your face, was hugely unpopular. Just get over it and move on. And if you don't move on, what's the saying, Sean? If you don't get left, you're going to get right. Or no, if you don't get right, you're going to get left. That's
Yep.
what
Yep. All right, closing thoughts on Friday. You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Listen, you don't know when your next day that you wake up on the top side of the dirt is. And so I implore you, spend it in a way you want to spend it. Don't spend so much time arguing online. You could totally be online. It's your time. Have a blast. But also go touch grass. And I think I'm going to leave you there. Paul?
Yeah, I really don't know what else to add to that, Sean. Everybody has trials and tribulations in their life, and you just gotta look forward and keep marching on and keep righteousness in your heart and try to do the right things as you move forward. I love this podcast. I love what we do. I really enjoy our conversations that we have. And I just think I need to take a deep breath, brother. Sorry.
Listen, I appreciate you more than you could possibly know. I think we wouldn't be here without the guidance of Rush Limbaugh. And we talk about that from time to time, not always, in just his guidance. And he was probably the first podcaster with the Ditto Cam. And I had that on the list for weeks now to talk about. But he had the Ditto Cam. You could, whatever, pay a fee, $10 a month. Some of us did, some of us didn't. And you could watch it on your TV if you were cool enough to hook your computer up to your TV. But here we are. We're just a couple of guys giving our observations on life, and look, we just really appreciate having you all, and obviously, Paul, I love you too. I'm gonna keep doing this as long as I can do it. I'm just gonna and that's what Rush did.
Oh yeah, bro.
So
I mean, 100% all the way.
Let's jazz it out. Thanks, everybody. We love you.